Okay, for this video, I'm going to show you how to do exercise 4, CSS Basics. I'm in the exercise directions, and what it says here is, first off, I need to download the attached file. So I'm going to do that. It's going to end up on my desktop, and you need to save the HTML file in your named and root folder. You need to save your image in your image folder. You need to open up the file in Dreamweaver, and then you need to create a new CSS file and save it to your CSS folder, okay, in your named folder, okay. You need to name your CSS file this name, and then you need to link it to the exercise 4 HTML. So let me go ahead and do that. So let me move some files over here. So this is the zip file that you were to download. It says 2 on here because I've done it a couple times, but I'm going to open up and show you what's in it. Inside of it is the HTML file, and it's just basically text, and then I've got a logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this file. I'm going to go to my named folder, and I'm going to paste it in my named folder. So here it is. Next, what I need to do is take this image and place it in my image folder. So I am going to copy it. I'm going to go to my image folder, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so it ended up, where did it end up going? Right here. All right. Now I've got everything in the right location. I no longer need this folder, so I'm going to move it to my trash because I don't want to accidentally pick up any files from there. All right, go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to open up Dreamweaver, and I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to navigate to that exercise file. So I'm in my named root folder. Here's exercise 4. I'm going to open it. Okay, again, it's just text, kind of a menu text. The next thing the directions ask you to do is to create a CSS file. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go File, New. When the new document dialog box pops open, the document type I need is CSS, so I'm going to create it. Okay, the directions now tell you to save it in your CSS folder, in your root folder. The CSS folder that's in your root folder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go File, Save. I'm going to navigate to, I'll start from the beginning, Art116, my name folder, my CSS folder, and the directions tell you to name it something specific. So let me pop that back open. I'm supposed to name it this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, minimize the exercise directions, and I'm going to rename it. Okay, I don't need that extra CSS in there. Okay, so exercise 4 -styles in my CSS folder and save it. Now I need to attach this file to this one. So I'm going to open up my CSS designer, just right here. Under sources, I'm going to click on the plus, and I'm going to attach existing. I'm going to navigate to that file. I'm going to click Browse. Okay, I'm going to go into my named or root folder. I'm going to go into my CSS folder, and here it is. So I'm going to open it and link to it and say OK. Now I can see in code view that it has been attached. Okay, what's next on the directions? Now it says in the directions you need to format the HTML code. Okay. Using the property panel, you need to apply the H1 to the words lunch menu, the H2 to sandwiches, salads, desserts, the H3 to locations and hours. So let me go ahead and do that. So I need my property palette open, so I'm going to go Window, Properties, make sure that that's open. Here it is. I'm going to highlight lunch food in design view, and I'm going to change the formatting to H1. Next, it's telling you need to format sandwiches, salads, and desserts as H2. So I'm going to go ahead and select sandwiches and change the formatting to H2. I'm going to do the same for salads, same for desserts. And then it says to make locations and hours in H3. So I'm going to select that text, change the formatting to H3. Okay, back to the directions. The next thing it's asking me to do is make styles for the H1 and add these particular styles. So I need to create a new selector for the H1, H2, and H3. And then eventually I'm going to have to do the paragraph. So let me go ahead and do that in the CSS Designer. I'm going to set up a selector for the H1. So if I click on the H1, I can tell it's the H1 in code view and also down here in the tag selector. So I'm going to click on the plus. I get the H1. I'm just going to leave body in here. It's not a big deal to have it in there. And then the formatting I need to do, I need to add a text color. So I'm going to click on text. The color I'm asking for, if I click here, I'm asking for a specific hexadecimal number. So I'm going to leave the hash and I'm going to type in the number, which is 960103. If I hit the return key, I can see that the color has changed. I'm also asking you to change the font family to Gill Sans, which is right here. I'm asking you to change the font size to 25 pixels. So font size, pixels, and I'm going to put the value of 25 in there. Okay, so I can see it being formatted here. And the last thing I'm asking you to do is to change the letter spacing to 5. So let me find letter spacing. Oh, down here, letter spacing, and 5 pixels. Okay. Now I'm asking you to create a selector for the H2. So I'm going to add, oops, I need to put my cursor where it needs to be, right here. Again, the H2, just to see if I'm in the right location. I'm going to add that selector. There's the H2. Now what I'm asking you to do is to change the text color. So go into the text properties, and the color I want is down here. I'm going to leave the hashtag in there, and I'm going to do D90003. Okay, you can see that has changed. I'm asking you to change font families to this one right here, Lucida Grande. Then I'm asking you to make the font size 22 pixels. Okay, you can see it being formatted. Now I'm asking you to do the H3. So I'm going to put my cursor in the H3, which is right here. Again, I can tell here, here, and here. I'm going to add the selector. There we go. I'm going to change the color again of the text. Clicking on the color chip, I'm going to leave the hashtag and type in 960103. I'm changing the font family next, back to Gill Sans. And the font size is supposed to be 26. So under font size, pixels, and I'm going to put the value of 26 in there. Okay, I can see it changing down here. And then I'm also going to make the font style italic. Okay, you can see those changes taking place. Okay, the next thing I want to do is make a selector for the paragraphs, where the paragraph tags are. So looking back at the directions, I'm asking you to make the text color, okay, specific hexadecimal number Lucida Grande 15 and the line height 24. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put my cursor in a paragraph and I'm going to add a selector. Okay, so the paragraphs that are in the body, again, the body is the main container or the main element, the parent element that everything lives in. So every paragraph tag within the body tag is going to change. And I'm asking you to go to the text color and make the hexadecimal number 312121. Okay. I'm asking you to make the font family Lucida. Grande. The font size 15. And add 15 in there. I'm asking you to make the line height, which is next here, 24 pixels. Okay. Now the next thing I'm asking you to do in the directions to add a class. So let's take a look at that in the directions. So create a class with a name of .food items and apply the following attributes. So text color, font family, font size, font variant. And then I'm asking you to apply that class to the 10 food items. So example, Red Rooster Club, Reuben, and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and set that up. Okay, so I'm going to add the selector. I'm asking you to name it food items. Make sure there isn't an extra space in there. Okay, and then what I'm asking you to do is to do a text color. Okay, down here I'm leaving the hashtag again, and 5E5748. Hit the return key. I'm asking you to do a font family of Gill Sans, 16 pixels for the font size. The font variant, small caps. And then we've got that set up. Now what I need to do is, let's take a look again. Apply this class that I named food items to the 10 food items. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, to apply that class that I created, I need my properties palette. So I'm going to highlight Red Rooster Club. In the class area, I'm going to find it. It's right here. I'm going to do the same thing for all these food items, all 10 of them. Under the salads, grilled chicken, house salad, scrolling up, okay, brownie sundae, mini donuts. Again, I'm just selecting what I want to apply the class to, and the ice cream soda. All right, so I've got those applied. Let's look at the directions again. The next thing I'm asking you is to create another class. This time I want you to call it food description. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that so I get the name exactly. And then you're going to set up these properties and values. Okay, in the CS Designer, I'm going to add a new selector for the next class. Add it in here, make sure I don't have an extra space in there. Okay, for food description, I'm asking you to do a text color. A text color of pound 837B6B. I'm asking you to do Lucida Grande again for the font family. A font size of 12. Typing in 12. Make it an italic for the style. Okay. And then directions say that I need to apply the food descriptions to each time I see a food description in the file, such as double stacked with ham. Okay, so let's go back. Move it out of the way a little bit. I need my properties panel to do that. I'm going to select the food description in the class area of the property palette. I'm going to do food description. I'm going to do that through all these. I make sure that I'm selecting everything that I need to select and applying that class. The last one. Oops, I missed the S here. Okay, let's take a look at the next step in the directions. Insert the logo -redrooster.png at the top of the page. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it in code view, so I'm going to click right after the body tag and hit the return key because this is the place that I want to put the logo. So I'm going to go Insert, Image. I'm going to look for that logo file in my image folder, Art116, named folder, images, and let's look for that logo right here. And I'm going to open it. There we go. Okay, let's look at the directions again for the next thing that we're supposed to do. At the bottom of the document, select all the text. I'm showing you the text here. Then insert a div around the text. Okay? So I'm going to go back to my document and I'm going to select all this text. Let me move the property palette out of the way. Okay. And I like to do it in code view just to make sure that I get everything that I need here. Okay. Selecting all that. Okay. Shows me that it's selected in design view as well. And then I'm going to go Insert, Div, and I'm going to choose Wrap Around Selection. So what I've selected, and I'm going to say OK. So I've got the div that has been wrapped around. Now the next thing I'm asking you to do is select all the lunch food items all the way through the ice cream. So I'm going to select all of this text. Again, I'm going to do that in code view just to make sure that I get it all. Okay, make sure it's all selected, and I'm going to insert a div again. Insert, div, wrap around what I've selected, and OK. Now the next thing is I need to add these attributes, properties and values, to the div tag. Okay, so I'm going to actually put my cursor in the div here. So my cursor's right here. I'm going to open up the CSS Designer. I'm going to add a selector for that div. So it's telling me, okay, you want to format the divs that are within the body tag. I do. And what I want to do is make the width 700. So I'm in Layout Properties, and I'm going to do pixels of 700. Okay, I need to put a margin on the left, top, and bottom. So left of 15 pixels, top 15, and bottom 15. Okay, I can see those margins here. Then I need to add a padding right and left of 20, right and left, adding the padding, and then the directions say to add 10 pixels top and bottom. Then I'm asked to add a background color, and I'm going to click the color chip and input the color. So it is pound F E F B F B. Okay. If I take a look, it's a little bit hard to see, but the color has changed. Okay. Let's go ahead and preview on the web to see what things are looking like. So I'm going to click on the preview button here and I will preview in Safari and save again. Okay, it's coming along. It's a little bit hard to see the difference in color. It's pretty subtle. Okay, one thing I noticed is I did not add the border radius from the directions, so I am going to make sure that I'm in border, come to the area for border radius, and I'm going to put 15 pixels all around. If I click here, it will do them all. I'm going to go ahead and preview in the browser to make sure that that is viewable. Again, you're not going to see it in design view, so I'm going to click on the preview. I clicked here and preview in Safari and save, and now I'm seeing the border radius. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the directions. The next thing I'm asking you to do is to apply the following attributes to the logo. Hint, you can read the hint for yourself, and then I'm supposed to put a left margin of 200 pixels. So go ahead and do that. And I'm going to select the image. I'm going to click on the plus. Dreamweaver picks up the IMG tag, which is right here, so that's for the image. And the directions say to add a left margin of 200. So I'm going to make sure that I'm in the margin properties, which is right here, and I'm going to input a value of 200. Okay. Now basically what that did was center it to the text. The next thing directions say is to add, okay, let me go back, apply the following attributes to the body tag. Okay. So I'm going to set that up. And basically it is a color. So I need to add the body tag. You can come down here and select the body tag to make it a little bit easier. Put your cursor right here. And I'm going to click on the plus. There's the body. I just want the body tag. And I'm asking for a background color. So I'm clicking the background properties, clicking the color chip, and putting in that color. Okay, so it's a little bit darker, so if I move this out of the way, I can see the color has changed, and now I can actually see this color a little bit more. Okay, the next thing the directions say is to insert a BR tag after the street address here. So I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver. Okay, the street address is here. There are two ways to go about it. I am going to click right before the word Sterling. I'm going to hit my delete key to bring that line back up and look at it in code view. Okay, again, my cursor's here, and I'm going to hit shift return. Okay, that adds a BR. Okay, let me show you another way of doing it. I can also go insert HTML character break line. It does the same thing. It enters the BR tag. Okay, the next thing the directions say to do, using the properties palette, apply italic to Monday through Thursday. Okay, this whole line. So I need my property palette open, which I chronically close, and I'm asking you to select the time here and apply the italic, which by the way is the tag emphasis. Okay, the last thing I want to do is preview my work in Safari again, or browser, and I see that the design I have made is consistent with the one that's on Canvas. All right, that's how to do exercise number 4.